So I just found I lost some footage, so I'll give you an update where I'm at with the build. So as you can see, I did get paint on it. Part of the reason I did get paint on it is because we had some rain and I was starting to get surface rust. So basically what I did is I took a grinder to the whole frame and cleaned all the mill scale off and any rust. You know, used wire brush, then I took some paint thinner, I wiped it down, acid etch primered it, and then used oil-based enamel paint. I'm going to give that a try. I did bed liner on my last build and I didn't have the best of luck with it, so I'm going to try this, see if this works. So got it painted, got the axles back in and torqued. One mistake I made is on these bolts here that go through the tubing, I can't torque them down all the way, and the reason is it's starting to crush the tube. So I found a website, I believe it's called Send Cut Send, to where I basically drew out what I needed, submitted it, and they're just going to cut me a 1/4 inch plate that'll sit right in here with the 3 holes spaced where they need to be. And I'm hoping by putting that in as like a big flat washer that I can torque it down without crushing it. If I need to, I will weld it in, but as right now I don't plan on welding that one in. These bottom bolts were able to torque, so I looked up torque spec on grade 8 5/8 bolts, and I think it's 159 foot-pounds. So that's what I got them torqued at. As you can see, another thing I added are these tabs, and that's going to be to give me a place to bolt the diamond plate. I decided to go with diamond plate on the steps here, front and rear, on all 4 sides. So next I'm going to figure out where to position my leveling jacks. I got an idea how I want to do that, and I still got to add a gusset up here on the tongue. And I'm going to drill a hole here and weld a bolt in with a nut with a bolt for like an anti-rattle. I got the rear jacks installed, and while I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the front jacks, I started building the body. So that's what I'm currently working on. My doors came in, so right now I'm just working to see how I want to mount them and to build the frame structure for that. The reason I haven't installed the front jacks yet, I got to figure out what I really want to do for storage up there. Want to build my own box or just buy a pre-made box. So I'm still debating that. But in the meantime, figure it all. I got the steel, the doors here, so I'll start framing up the actual cabin structure. This is all 1x1. And what I did is, on the inside, you'd see I welded it to the frame here. I'll run a bead of caulk out here once I'm done, just to make sure no moisture gets in between. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm gonna figure out door placement. I got one for each side, the left and the right. I'll leave a link in the description for these doors. Also, I got a rear galley door for the back end. It's like a 4-foot wide door. I'll have to get the floor panel put in first, because that's a 5x10 sheet, before I can frame up the back wall. Or I might frame up the back wall and just install it through the front, wait to frame up the front until once I got all the doors figured out. So alright, I realized I forgot to start or film this, but kind of give you an idea where I'm at. I'm starting to build the box, or the cabin. Right now I got the passenger side wall framed out. Now this will be, right here will be the entry door. I do have a step that I'll be mounting under here. And same thing with the driver's side. So one thing I did, because I am using aluminum composite paneling, and once I bond the panel to the walls, I'm going to use a router to router out the doors. So to make it easier for routering, so I don't have to try to cut a radius, as I added these 45s here in the corner. That way when I router it, I can just follow this line, and then when the door mounts, it'll actually come down here, and I don't have to worry about trying to jigsaw a radius out. So I figured I add those. They add a little strength. Didn't take that much to add them in. It'll make my life easier. So the other thing I did is I added these 45s in the corners, just to help stiffen up the walls, along with these braces here. And then what I did is I staggered the bracing down the wall of the trailer. That way you don't have like all your welds going in one spot, possibly weakening the wall. I got this door complete, or not this door, I mean this wall. So I've also got the rear wall complete. So this large opening here, this is going to be for the rear galley door. They'll swing open this way. I added some supports underneath it, along the sides and up top here. Again, the 45s here are just to make routering it out out of the aluminum composite, just make it easier, and also add a little strength. Currently I am working on the left wall. It's going to be identical to the right with the exception of a compartment door. Once I'm done with the left wall, I'll do the roof. And then before I can do the front wall, I need to get my floor panel, the aluminum composite I'm putting on the floor. I need to get that in place because that'll be a full sheet. And obviously I need to be able to slide a full sheet in here, so I'll have to leave that front wall open until I get the floor in, and then I'll frame up the front wall. Now on this side, what I'm currently working on is the door frame, using this little Fireball Tools like square thing. Makes it nice for squaring up. Get everything nice and square. I've used it for building all these walls. Super simple to use, nice little tool. But yeah, I'm currently working on the door frame. So from the top of this, which will be the floor, obviously the floor, there'll be 1-inch foam board and then laminate flooring, or 1/8 inch composite, 1-inch foam board, and then laminate flooring. So the floor is still a little higher than 1 inch, probably more like 1 1/4 inch, 1 3/8. So from the floor, or from this height here to the top of the door frame here, is 6 inches. My hope is once the door's in, the floor and everything's in, and I have a 6-inch mattress, it sits pretty, the mattress will sit pretty close to flush with the door, the bottom of the door. So this is kind of where I'm at. Currently working on it, getting this all framed up, and then I'll do the roof. Also on the roof there will be a rooftop vent fan, so I'll have to frame that in. And then back here, because the galley, the kitchen counter, I haven't decided how high it is, but to make it easier to get under the sink and everything, I am putting, I think I ordered, it's 30-inch tall, 11-inch wide compartment door that you'll be able to remove this jack out of the way when you need to access it. Just slip this jack off, open the compartment door, and then you'll be able to access under the sink to get any of the plumbing, anything you need. And then I still haven't decided how I'm going to access under the countertop. The countertop may end up sitting pretty close to the bottom of the door height, since this trailer is pretty tall. So I am looking at ideas of making the countertop to where it can hinge, kind of like a trunk type lid for the countertop, to where you can lift it up and get access to storage underneath the countertop. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I know it looks a little overbuilt, but that's okay. This is still pretty lightweight. I mean, just pushing down on the rear of the trailer here, I can pick the front of the trailer up. There's not much tongue weight right now. So my hope is when it's done, I don't have a ton of tongue weight, and I'm still shooting hopefully for under 2,000 pounds, but I guess we'll see. I prefer to overbuild it and not have any problems than underbuild it and then have it vibrate, the walls vibrating and moving and coming apart. So